Hi, everyone, and thank you very much for being with us for another episode from the Classroom to Jungle podcast, which wants to inspire you through the wonderful stories and adventures of teachers, students, and scientists who have had the opportunity to participate in an Opwall expedition. Today, we have with us Daniela Coppini, who went as a lead teacher on an expedition to Croatia in 2022 with an amazing group of students from Santa Lucia School in Malta. Let's hear what she has to say and be inspired by her stories. So, see you in a minute. Daniela, thank you very much for being here with us for this podcast from Classroom to Jungle to give us your testimonial. So it's a pleasure. And the first thing I want to ask you is for you to tell us a little bit about yourself. Where do you teach? What has motivated you to do this kind of activities as well?
So thank you, Jose, for inviting me to this interview. I am Daniela Coppini. I am a teacher of French. I teach in a church school in Malta. I've been teaching for many years, over 26 years, I think now. I first discovered Opwall Wallacea as a parent, actually. I also have a son, Julian.
Daniela, sorry to interrupt you, but
Sorry.
before we go to
Okay.
that part of how
Mhm.
Opal appeared in your life, I have a question that comes first from that. What motivates you to go to biodiversity expeditions, being you a French teacher and not a biology teacher?
Okay, yes. My studies have always been more the arts, the languages, but nature and science forms part of everyone's life. You don't need to be a biologist to take an interest in nature. Is everywhere. Science is everywhere in one's life, and you grow in life by your experience face to face with nature, and you learn a lot from nature. So I think everyone can learn from being close to nature and science. You just
Okay.
need to have the time to observe, to touch, to feel. It's a growth process in life.
So I assume that you become very happy when this opportunity to participate in an Opal expedition came into your life, no?
Yes, first of all, there is the adventurous side of me. Like the overgrown kid always wanting to leave on an adventure. So when it was offered to me, I said, I did not even hesitate 1 second. It was yes, 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 I'm going. And I'm going to make it an experience of a lifetime.
And how did it happen?
I first discovered Opwell, Opwell Wallacea as a parent. At the time, my son was 14. And St. Edward sent us a link, and I pressed on this link, and I discovered a whole world which was available to young people. And I said, wow, I said, this is adventure, this is science, this is a learning experience. So go, go, go. So I booked him in, and I said, how amazing that there is an organization that does this for young people, that gives them the opportunity to live on their own without their parents, and go on a science expedition. I mean, you can spend years in a classroom, but what you get in 1 week on a science expedition is nowhere near. I mean, this is the real thing. It's science hands-on. The experience, the science is real. It's not in a book. It's not in a copy book. It's not on on a laptop or a classroom screen. It's you're one to one with nature. You're experiencing it there, and you're not reading from a book. It's nature and science which is talking to you.
Just to clarify, so your contact with Opwall was firstly as a mother. So you booked your son to a Romanian expedition, and then the expedition didn't happen because of the pandemic of
Yes.
COVID. And then what happened?
And then I was offered, well, my money back, um, or to keep a credit. So my son at the time was still 14, so I'm investing in him. So I did not ask for my money back. I said, we'll keep the credit. He's 14. There'll be other opportunities, like maybe next year, hopefully. And when I saw that there was a week diving in Croatia, and I said, this is the best option. And I said, yes, you definitely go on this expedition. He was the only one from his school at the time, because time passed and students grew older and left. I was asked if I wanted him to join another group, which was totally fine for me. He doesn't necessarily have to live with friends. It's an opportunity for making new friends, making new contacts. And so he was put down on the list for Croatia, and he was joining another school.
Okay.
Then then that also evolved, because the responsible person from Opwall Wallacea contacted me, knowing that I'm a teacher, and she asked me if I would be happy to lead the group to Croatia. And again, I did not hesitate 1 second. It was yes, yes, yes. So I was on board. I was actually grateful. All the time I felt it was a privilege to be able to see these young people interact with the scientists and the academics. It is an amazing opportunity given to a person. And then again, me as a teacher, I could see the teaching and learning happening right there, the way it should be. I mean, it's the ideal world.
You went from being a mother, from a student that was going to participate in an expedition in Romania,
Yes.
or then, because of the pandemic, being asked from Opwall to substitute another teacher from another school, leading this amazing group of students to Croatia, where
Yes.
it was as well given your son the opportunity to join this other group of students. So that was like it was luck for you.
Yes, it was luck. In fact,
And that was really amazing, I think, for you, because you were telling us that you love nature, you love adventure, and then this just comes into your
yes, it ticks all the boxes, in fact, because first of all, I wanted to give this opportunity to my son, the adventure, the travel, the science opportunity. And then it was also given to me, so it was the perfect situation. Then when he came home, of course, I said, I have good news and bad news. The good news is that you're finally going on this expedition, which we've been waiting for so long. The bad news is that I'm coming too.
And how did
But
he reacted to that?
no, no, he was very grateful. What I know for sure is, obviously, I as a parent, I researched the website. I went from one site to another, from one link to another. I went through the whole website. So I was very well prepared as a parent of what he would be going through. Then when the opportunity came for me as a teacher to go, I said yes without hesitating, but I knew what I was going in for as well. But young people don't go through the whole website, maybe. So they were totally in awe, overwhelmed, and finding themselves in a forest, sleeping there, sharing the community life for 1 week. I could see from one day to another how these young people were 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 changing, were developing and evolving. It was also a very good experience for me to observe.
You were there as a mother, but at the same time as a lead teacher for this group.
Yes,
And you are also a teacher, so you have
yes,
that experience of being a teacher and to see your students growing. So, what have you seen in terms of changes in the students?
Most young people usually travel with their parents. Now they were off on an adventure with their teacher and other students. Sometimes the students don't even know each other. So there's a lot of anticipation. Where are we going? What are we going to do? But then once we arrive on the campsite, it's like the whole mask falls and they want to go full on the adventure. The experience is of several phases. First of all, living in a community. Most of them don't even share a bedroom with their brother and sister. All of a sudden, they're sleeping in the same room. My son, for example, has no siblings, and there's a lot of sharing and waking up together and doing the whole program from the beginning of the day till the end of the day together, going out into the jungle with one of the scientists, spending the whole morning on the transect, observing so many different things from butterflies to insects, birds, bats, reptiles. And then one day, one of the scientists even came in with a snake and they could look at it, learn how to touch it without harming the animal. The amount of questions that were coming out, it was a beautiful experience for me to see the interest. As a teacher, sometimes in a classroom, you struggle to have the interest. So when you're outside in nature, in open air, in the jungle, or it just happens. It's a natural process of starting from interest, discovery, learning. The teaching and learning is in a different context. It's how it should be.
Looks like that the experience of the students during the process is interconnected with the growing of the teacher that is there
Yes.
with the students at the same time. So every time you see a student interested, going deep into this experience, you feel that you are growing as well, no?
Yes, yes. The student grows. From the first day, you start seeing the student change and evolving. Sometimes they are shy or they are tired, but then once the first day passes, it's like, wow, this was not the same person at the beginning of the trip. There's a really good dynamic and a really good energy. The group becomes a family and they grow together in that week very fast. It's like a natural growth process on all levels, on the intellectual, on the emotional, and on the physical. They do become stronger.
Daniela, I have some pictures from your expedition in Croatia. How was that first week in Croatia?
So after spending one night in
No?
Split, then we set out to the start of the expedition. So there was a lot of excitement. They wanted to see where the campsite is, how the sleeping arrangements are going to be. There was a lot of excitement. They all wanted to see what it's going to look like. So on the first day, the first expedition was with Holly. This is Holly, if I'm not mistaken. And this was the survey for the butterflies. This is another one. Yes, here they are checking according to the book what the name of the butterfly is so they can list it.
So every day they are doing different surveys, no?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, the program is very intense and varied. They are doing something all the time. That was one of the most beautiful things that I experienced with them. They forgot to look at their phones finally because they were looking at what's next on the program. During breakfast, they are talking about the survey, about what they want to see, what they saw last night or the previous afternoon. And then they set out, they're all ready with the equipment they need, and off they go with their science teacher, and they come back with such big smiling faces and such an achievement and such satisfaction of what they have done. They're already planning the next one, what they're going to do in the afternoon.
Very nice. So, and this picture, can you tell us a little bit about it?
This picture, this was a very exciting day because they were going to go to the caves. They had the torches and the helmets, and this is fun because they're like explorers. And what was interesting is that while we were in the caves, they noticed bats in the caves, and they had just had the bat survey the day before. So they were talking and in a language so typical of scientists, and there was a lot of excitement. Yes, this is the satisfaction. You can see the satisfaction on their faces. This was putting like food in the trap so that they could and there was the camera as well. They could observe later on in the night because the animals and the reptiles they wanted to observe obviously come out at night. And this, as I said, was close to the camp, and I could see that they were after dinner they went to check to see if everything is okay, and then the excitement of watching hours and hours and hours of video footage to finally see the moment when the animal appears, and it's like hooray. This is towards the end of the week. I can see how the expression on Julian's face changed. Now he's the experienced scientist. Now he knows about it. He knows what to do. So this is one of the things that I noticed as well, how they evolve from the first day to the sixth day. At the beginning, they are a bit shy, a bit scared to touch the equipment and not sure what they have to do. But the second and the third day, it's a team. It's a team. They all know what they have to do, and they are talking in a language where yeah, a language with science content, and this is what we're going to do. Even even at the beginning, like the scientists who are there are the adults and they're the teachers, so there is a certain they are a bit stiff and tense, but then they realize that it's all teamwork at the end of the day, and they are also contributing to the work that these scientists are researching. So before you know it, they are pals and doing things in tandem and together and contributing. They feel that they are contributing to the research, which gives them a lot of self-esteem that they are doing something worthwhile, useful, and fun.
I know that normally in all Opwall expeditions, there are some time as well to relax a little bit, to have fun.
Yes, yes. I find the program really it's intense, but I find the program is very well planned and organized. There is the right dosage for everything. There's the right dosage for research. There's the right dosage for discovery, for adventure, and even the right time to relax and sit back and just take it all in. And this is one of the moments here when out of the caves from the underground we passed through a passageway and found this amazing surprise, this waterfall. And the most beautiful thing is that they are there alone. It's just us and nature.
You were mentioning that the relationship between the students and the scientists evolved since the first day.
What I also enjoyed was the conversations we used to have during lunch and dinner. For example, they used to talk a lot about the scientists. I want to be like her, and I want to become like him, and that is a line of study that I want to take. And they became that like their heroes. as I said before, they dropped their phones, but they also dropped all social media. And what mattered is this is how I want to be when I'm older. They are role models. And there's also a very good chemistry. The student and the scientist became closer. They are the role models, and also the relationship became one of teamwork.
Going from the terrestrial week to the marine week, this is a picture from Julian getting out from a diving. So, what happened in that marine week?
So this was an amazing location, totally different to the forest location. The island was a, a dream, a paradise island. It's a beautiful, beautiful location. And again, it was a very good experience. So I had 7 students who never dived before. So we started as a whole group together, and then obviously the dive masters discovered the different levels. And there were, from 7 students, I would say there were 5 different levels in this group. Um, Two were like fish, who took to it very quickly, very easily, and maybe one or two a bit less. And there was one also who was struggling, maybe also two who are struggling. But what impressed me is how professional the dive masters are. Um, they took the struggling student apart and took the student alone and slowly and gave the student a lot of encouragement and motivation. And there was no pressure at all. Everyone has different learning abilities in a classroom and different learning abilities in the sea. So I was very impressed also by the safety. This exceeded my expectations, in fact. The health and safety priority of the diving experience.
Your students, they were all learning how to dive, which I assume took them most of their time during that week.
They are doing something all the time. In the morning, they have the surveys, and then there are the lectures. The lectures are information about what they would be seeing or what they would I mean, lectures by the scientists themselves. It gives them the time to sit down at least because they are ongoing all the time. They are doing something all the time. So the afternoon lectures are also a way to stop a bit, to stop and
And Daniela, where are you going this year in the summer?
so luckily again, when I thought it was just a one life opportunity that I was taking the group to Croatia, after being approached by the site manager in Croatia, and I was put in contact with you, then I asked the school where my son goes to, St. Edward's in Birgu, Malta, and they were very interested in this expedition. I started looking into the destinations, and I thought Mexico would be would be a good idea, and it seems that it is because the interest was quite high. I'm trying to give it my best, and I hope it will be another success for us, for the students, for me as a teacher, because I really believe in this organization. It's I wish I found out before, actually. I really recommend it to all parents. It is a great investment in your children to to give them the opportunity to leave with a big backpack and experience life in a community in the jungle or on an island. There are so many different locations. They are all beautiful, and the experience you get is unique. Nothing comes close to it. Opwell Wallacea, 2 weeks with 1 week in the forest and 1 week learning how to dive or snorkel is quite a lot for 2 weeks, but it's possible to do it. And there's a whole team of experts and professionals taking care of your students and your children. And I would recommend it to anyone. It's a great experience, not to be missed. It goes hand in hand with their something else which I want to say is for sixth formers. It contributes to their academic benefits. They can do their projects. They've all used the trip to. All my students have used the trip to Croatia for academic benefits on their projects in sixth form. Quite unique.
Daniela, thank you very much. It was a pleasure talking to you. It was a beautiful testimonial from your experience with us. And I hope we can talk again after you come from your Mexico expedition this summer. And well, to all of you, thank you for listening to this episode from Classroom to Jungle podcast. If you'd like to participate in Opwall expeditions or have more information, please contact me through my email or our social media. It has been a pleasure being with you. Thank you very much, and let's keep in touch. Bye-bye.